So, once again, I end up on the self-checkout, and it's pickling season right now, so everyone has their gardening stuff, and they're pickling. I live in Canada, and here's the problem right now. This lady comes up to my register, and I'm on the fast lanes, and we have a register on the fast lanes just in case people need to pay cash or whatever. And she comes up to me and she's like, "Do you have any salt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's down the baking aisle." And then so I shout across to a lane and I ask just to make sure it's in aisle 1. I'm like, "What aisle is the salt in?" And they're like, 1. I'm like, "Okay, perfect." So I send her down aisle 1 and she comes back with the most frustrated look on her face ever. And I'm like, "Salt isn't in 1?" Like, I was so confused. And she's like, "No, you don't have the salt I need." And I was like, "Oh, what kind of salt do you need?" And she's like, "Pickling salt." I was just like, "Oh, I think they're like going out of business or something." And she's like, "No, that's not possible. They're not going out of business. It's literally pickling season." And I say to her, and my coworkers, 2 of my coworkers start to walk over towards me. And the one is like, "Oh yeah, they're actually like on strike right now. They're on strike, so we're not getting anything. We had 3 bins and they're at the very, very end, so it's down there. There might not be any left, but they're there." And then my supervisor comes over and she's like, "Yeah, they're just on the very, very bottom shelf. They're kind of hidden, because they are like on strike and whatever." And so my supervisor takes her over there and she comes back, she scans her stuff through the fast lanes, and then she turns towards me and my other coworker and she says, "Who would have thought that they're on strike? We literally have the largest salt mill in Canada 2 hours away from us. Like, how is that possible that we can't get salt?" And we look at each other and we're like, "Yeah, but that salt mill is not the same salt as pickling salt." So, anyways, she walked away and she was just so mean. Oh, I was not happy.